here we are, here we are, here we are. Yes, we are spiritual warriors for Christ. There you go. Yeah, we got these. Okay, name. Yeah. T-shirt, mugs, and more at cdhrwdrmd.org. That's right. So, we're going to dive into something because speaking of the website, I have the free PDF download for our fundraiser. It's a PDF flyer, and I have it available on the website to download absolutely free. And when you understand how narcissists play head games, okay, remember the future faking? All of that's to provide false hope. Now, how God said we have faith, right? We have hope, faith, and then charity, meaning love. And the greatest of them all is love. Okay, so chosen one, we continue to have hope because that's a positive thing. So with that being said, let me go ahead and do our quick check while all of that is going out and make sure everything is do. Here we go. That's right. Let me go ahead and do our... Okay, so again, I'll monitor the chat on this device because it's easier to see. I see it pop up during live when y'all do type in there, but it'll be easier. So as I have said before, even though we are not necessarily doing car videos in this short season as often, you're still gonna catch me between working out, training like an athlete, and things like that. So it is what it is. So there you go, peach fuzz and all. All right, now, narcissists, they love to provide or give that false hope. So we talk a lot about how narcissists, they take. Yes. So when we say narcissists give, okay, this is more of a, I couldn't think of a better word, because that's what they do. They will play head game and try and instill false hope. So it's come to my attention that with our fundraiser flyer, we've got some narcissists doing exactly that. And see, we can see through that too. They're down. I'm like sitting here going, okay, you downloaded it. 2 weeks later, they come back using the same name and download it again. Okay, if you have an external hard drive or you're concerned about storage space, which it really doesn't, that one PDF file does not take up that much space. So if you've got an external hard drive or a thumb drive, you put it on that and remember where you put it. But we know that narcissists like to provide false hope because it is an ongoing fundraiser for our movement here at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, pushing back against radio frequencies for healthier living. So I'm fully aware of that there are a few apparently narcissists who are downloading it, and then a week or two goes by, they come download. There's been one that's done it several times now. Yeah, several times. But we see through it. Okay, we still have true hope and faith, walking and living by faith. But the narcissist will always try and instill false hope. They want to build you up. They want you to think that, oh, they might be considering helping you fund the movement, right? So they'll go on there. So that's what they're doing. Go on and downloading it several times with no intention of ever helping to fund the movement. But they want to trick me into thinking, oh, okay, maybe they... No, see, that's not how we roll. I put it out there, I tell y'all it's available, and we'll let God take care of the rest. Because there are those of you who truly are helping to fund the movement, and I thank you all. The ones who are not serious about it are the ones who I see downloading the free PDF flyer off the website. Yeah, trying to instill false hope. Well, it's not working. It's not working because we can see right through it. It's no different than when the narcissists use that future faking. Remember that? Remember that? They wanted to promise you, oh, y'all were gonna do this, you were gonna do this together, you were gonna get this house, you were gonna do this together. Oh, it was gonna be so great, right? To build you up. Build up that false hope. Right? And then when the time comes, say, hey, well, what about that beach trip you were talking about? And the narcissist goes, oh, nah, we're not gonna do that. It wants to disappoint you, wants to make you, right? It's like a love bomb and devout, right? The future faking really is like a love bomb. And so that's what they want to do. They want to build you up with false hope just to turn around and tear it right back down. It's all part of their manipulation on your emotion, your psyche. So you got to keep that in mind. That's what narcissists do. They like to instill false hope. They want you to self-sabotage also. So if that were to trick me into thinking that they were actually serious about helping to fund the movement, they wouldn't need to download it 3, 4, 5 times. It's not that complicated because the PayPal.me/CHABTBW is also in the video description below, because it is the business PayPal account. That's where the service pledges go, right? Service grants, excuse me, that's where those go. And that's where the funds go for the movement. Everything for this ministry, because we have a lot more to unpack with this movement for you all. Speaking of, okay, God just revealed to me how it's not just the consistency between external and internal temperature as far as your body readapting when you detox and to heal, but it's also, yes, it is also part of how the matrix and the devil out there, how they like to keep your breathing ability inconsistent. So more about that on the Patreon channel, okay? We go a lot deeper in our Patreon's Truth Analyzer podcast from topics that we branch out from the Truth Seeker podcast. That's right. You'll find the rss.com feed for CHA's Truth Seeker podcast also in the video description below. Now, with that, we're not sitting here giving y'all no false hope. When I tell y'all hang tight, we got this coming, because there's a lot to unpack when it comes to radio frequency poisoning and how it has a negative impact on our health. There's a lot to unpack. And it's wow. It's like God reveals it. Wow. I want to thank y'all for hitting the thumbs up for this message, because somebody, or a lot of y'all, our fellow warriors, need this reminder so that they don't fall for the false hope game that the narcissists like to play. The false hope. It really is. It's another way of future faking to provide that false hope. They want to build you up. They want you to think that, oh, it's going to be this grand, whatever, this grand, this big, this, and they make it sound so great, right? That lasciviousness. That's what they're doing. Is they're future faking. They're trying to provide a false hope. That's what they're all about, because they don't have any true blue hope for themselves. Because God tells us that now we have the hope, faith, and the charity, the love. Right? Okay, chosen one. We have that. The narcissists do not. So whenever I see activity like that, I can't help but bring it to light. Because it is so important to not allow those things that they do trick you into developing false hope. Because that leads to self-disappointment. This is the thing we learn as chosen one, that we don't allow their head games to get to us anymore, because we see right through it. We can see right through it. And I understand that there are some narcissists that will do some checking in when we go live just to see if their handiwork work. And no, it didn't. So that being said, we have discovered as much as we possibly can, and God revealed to me some additional thing that needed some self-care. So I thank y'all for understanding. Just yesterday, okay, at the time today's recording, yesterday I went for a live stream break because we had to do a little bit of extra self-care, and no big deal. We're good. Okay, and I know that there's something that I was unaware of as far as the healing process that had to do with my glutes, but we all good there now. Okay, we've been working on that, the weight training and everything else. And then I recently discovered the dimples right back here that were, so I was like, I don't have any reason to be tense. These muscles should not be tense. There's a difference between strengthening and tension. But see, the devil's all about appearances. So, right, so if this can look or give off the appearance of still being traumatized, because I'm not, then it gives the devil an illusion of power and control over our autonomic nervous system. Well, let me tell y'all something. Once we become aware of our inner child, our ANF, and we become the parent, we take control back away from the external. Absolutely, 100%. Once we become aware of it, we take back control of our ANF. And we start parenting it, the inner child. And self-care is a big part of that. And learn not to be so insensitive to our inner child. So once we do that, that's all that's left is the appearance, a physical appearance of the ANS still being traumatized. And so we discovered the dimples back here. And so we've been working those knots out. I didn't even realize that was there. I said, oh my gosh, there's another layer. Okay, well, we good because, right, that was leading to the prolongation of the bruising here. Because it was hindering circulation. I could feel it. I can feel it every single time something hinders my circulation. I can feel it. I'm aware. Heightened awareness. See, this is where the Judge Bell case study really screwed up. It's the fact that before she launched that physical assault, I already had a level of awareness that was just creeping on up there. And so the devil trying to prevent that from happening. Well, it's like I've told y'all before, the devil cannot stop God. He cannot stop our awareness. He cannot stop what God is revealing. Remember, God said he's going to reveal all. And that's part of it, is to watch out for the future faking for false hope. Because if anybody's doing that to you, then they're a narcissist. Because only narcissists do that. Providing false hope. Right? I want you to think about all of the, well, for those of us who are, right, business owners, we get these text messages and then these emails. And they want to say, we have set aside, well, this is what they do. This is that false hope. It's part of the game of narcissism. They'll tell you, based on your company's profile, you qualify for business capital of up to a couple $100,000. That sounds nice, don't it? Right. Until you actually talk to them and they go, well, you got your credit score they got to consider. And then, oh, wait, you have to have a business bank account. Yeah, all kinds of little things. So if you don't have that stuff and you don't meet that criteria, or you're not making at least $10K a month, so you have to ask yourself, how is it that they qualify you ahead of time when they don't even know the detail necessary to actually qualify for that kind of funding? Yeah, makes you go, don't it? Okay, so, we learn real quick. Go, wait a minute. But that's part of them providing a little bit of false hope. Because they want you to think that just because they said, oh, based on your company's profile, you may qualify. And so that to try to get your hopes up, right? Just to try and tear them down. I can't control the outside noise, y'all. It is what it is. So, somebody out there with the radio going. But you know how the devil is. We rebuke in the name of Jesus. That's right. Because the devil always trying to distract and interfere and things like that when we get up here with our messages of truth, God's spiritual truth, just to help y'all remember that when that matrix and these narcissists try to provide that false hope, don't let it get to you. Don't let it play head game. Don't let it trick you into self-disappointment. Keep your wits about you. And know, okay, hold on a second. Yeah, how they getting all this going and they don't even know the necessary details. Okay, and so that's why I want to get on here, because I've noticed it and the activity, and that's fine. You know, the narcissists that are downloading that free fundraiser flyer all day long, 3, 4, 5 times, and if they continue to do so, fine. Let them continue to do that, because it's not going to work as far as any self-disappointment, because we're going to keep on keeping on. So for those who are interested, again, the Patreon digital product line, right? That is, that's part of where the funding goes for me to be able to put that together for y'all. Okay, the Patreon shop link is listed below in the video description, because you can go over there and you will find, so far we have RF tips and hacks number 1 and 2 available, giving you tips and things on how to mitigate, meaning how to, make the effects of radio frequency not so heavy, if you will, and how to combat the radio frequency, but also things that will help you keep your body's internal heat in check and things like that. We've got the low sodium menu guide, all of that. Our digital product line goes right in line with our movement, pushing back against radio frequency for healthier living. So you can get your copy. Don't forget, if you've got an external hard drive or a thumb drive, if you're worried about, not worried, but if you're concerned, okay, we don't have the demon of worry up in here. So if you're concerned about storage on your device, just thumb drive, external hard drive, they are a dime a dozen these days, because we live in a digital era. So that's that. For anybody who's interested, you can check those out. And the value, once you download that off the Patreon channel, those guides are yours to go back to anytime you need for the rest of your life. And you can even share those. Okay, that's right. You can even share them with others. The tips and hacks that I have. And I have a lot more coming, because there are a lot of things, believe it or not, chosen ones, we think outside the box. There are a lot of things that we can do. Making better choices as far as, healthier eating. I'm not saying we don't splurge every once in a while when our ANS is acting up a little bit for a season or so. It's not forever, that's temporary. Because while you're detoxing, you're right, and if your ANS is still traumatized a little bit, he or she is going to act up. Remember, that's the inner child. That's the inner child. Okay? So keep that in mind. And, we do have a lot of things. For example, air circulation. Oh my gosh. If you are in an environment where radio frequency is really high and the air is very stuffy, you need air circulation. Get some fans going. Open up the door, open the windows. Okay? Yeah, get that stuffiness out of there, because that's sucking the oxygen right out of the environment. Think about that. As I've talked about many times before, and I will remind y'all that that's a big part of this spiritual battle for the mind. Because what do you need for mental clarity? That's right, oxygen. To be able to think clearly and not have all that you can call it fogginess, if you will, but you don't want to constantly be feeling lethargic all the time. Where's your energy, right? So yeah, deprive people of the oxygen, and that takes away their energy, their physical energy, so that they're not as productive and easier to control and manipulate. Never forget, one of the primary reasons for radio frequency on the societal level is for mind control. Because I can tell y'all from experience that, wow, it can, even if you are aware of it, it can still operate in the background with a little bit of mind control, draining you of your physical energy if you're not detoxing. That's going to be a big one right there. But if you're detoxing, eventually you catch on, you become aware of it. And so you know what to do after that. See, that's the thing the devil knows, is once we become aware, then we know how to self-care. We know how to, we know how to lessen the effects. And then, like I teach often, once you become aware of where the frequency is coming from, that may be having that negative impact, you break that connection. It can no longer have that negative impact once you reduce the amount of salt on the inside of your body by making better choices food-wise. And yes, you all, on the Patreon channel, we also have cooking demos. You will unlock access to those exclusive videos for as little as $5 a month as well. So we have all kinds of stuff, and we've got more coming. I got some ideas brewing. You know, we always got something. We're always working on stuff back here. Behind the scene, we are always working on things for y'all, because we also have the Academy. For those who haven't checked out those courses, I highly encourage y'all to do so. Remember, you've got the option of a one-time payment or 5 monthly installments at CHAacademybtbw.com. That link is also listed below. That's going to take you to how the trauma bond is formed. Click on all courses, okay? It's going to be at the top, the bottom, or from the navigation drop-down menu, depending on the device that you are viewing that link, CHAacademybtbw.com at. Okay, so, and then you can check out all the courses. And we've also got the membership. If you want to take a sneak peek at the courses, you can get the membership, and that will give you access to the community forum where there are spaces connected to each course. So when you click on one of the spaces and you want to preview the course, you can do so. You get a sneak peek. Okay, so there's that. And don't hesitate to reach out with any questions that you might have. All right, I want y'all to I want to keep y'all in the loop. And then I got to remember that there's new viewers all the time, and there's new fellow spiritual warriors for Christ joining our growing community here in this ministry at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, CHA, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequencies for healthier living. So keep that in mind. But at the same time, stay vigilant and aware. Like God tells us, always stay vigilant and aware, because you don't want to get duped by that false hope. Because it don't feel good to be disappointed, right? Okay, so we don't allow them. See, that's the other thing, y'all. Once we become aware of the devil's tactics and he's got nothing new under the sun, then we know we've got the power and authority on the inside of us, chosen one, to not allow anyone or anything to stop our progress, to interfere with our progress. We don't allow it. So I have a really great example for y'all. See, there's one, okay, our ANS, like I've talked about before, is highly dependent on our 5 senses. The devil targets our oxygen because he's after our health. I got to tell y'all, I'm still pondering over this one when I realized that it ain't got nothing to do with up here, you know, teaching and ministering. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It ain't got nothing to do that we are teaching the word of God. It ain't got nothing to do with the fact that we are a ministry. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that as far as these attacks. He's after our health. That's what he's after. So that's what the Matrix is after. Your soul, okay? Never forget that. Spiritual battle for the mind, ultimately the soul. And they want to get to that through your health. Want to trick you into thinking there's something wrong with you when there ain't. It's just radio frequency symptom. Your body's trying to detox. So it's that simple. But anyhow, okay, so with that being said, once we realize that our ANS, like an unpleasant odor, right? An unpleasant smell. We all have those odors that we don't like, right? Our ANS just does not like the smell of this or that. It's a natural part of being human. So there are those things. And so when the devil knows that there's a particular odor that we don't like, he will use that as a weapon to try and attack your pulmonary system. How does he do that? Because think about when you smell something that's unpleasant, or you smell that smell that you don't like, what does your ANS do? I need y'all to remember something. Your autonomic nervous system is responsible for a whole lot. Your subconscious mind basically is the ANS, really, because it operates subconsciously. You don't have to tell it what to do. And it plays a huge role in our breathing. So you can look it up. It's not a secret, because our ANS plays a huge role in our breathing. So when you smell the unpleasant smell, what are you likely going to do? Right? You're going to stop breathing. You're going to plug your nose. You're going to deprive yourself of oxygen. Imagine that. So, if there are vents or other devices, if you will, that can bring in that unpleasant smell from outside or elsewhere, the devil will use it. Yes, he will use it. So what do? You figure out a way to, you figure out a way to prevent that odor from entering your dwelling, or your car for that matter. I have to tell y'all something, even in the car, oh my gosh, yes, through the air conditioner, I'll get a whiff of that perm smell, so then that's when the windows go down. So get it out. Because it's through that air conditioner in the car that a lot of unpleasant smell like to creep in. And so we know about how they manipulate the weather, and they're putting the chemicals in the air. Okay, we got the perm smell, you got the charcoal smell, and then a heavy metal smell. So, yeah, and the charcoal smell oftentimes smells like cardboard. Like maybe like burning cardboard or something. It's really a unique smell, but also it can be strong enough to make you think that somebody's cooking out down the way, and they're not. It's part of the chemicals that they're using out there to try and get you to breathe those in, because they play a big role in, remember, where there's no radio frequency to zap you, there's going to be a chemical to try and to interfere with your circulation, because proper circulation leads to proper nutrition, and that's what the devil doesn't want you to have. He doesn't want us to be healthy. But I hear the Lord say, he said, yeah, but Jeremiah 30 verse 17 come to mind, where the Lord says, I'm going to restore your health. Yeah. You know, God's a promise keeper. So you got to keep that in mind. And don't forget, I'm looking at the clock here, y'all. But keep that in mind, because that's what the devil does. And so it was revealed to me that he's going to use, if he knows that there's an unpleasant odor that you don't like, and if you are in a place and you start smelling it more frequently, ding, 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 you need to figure out where it's coming from, and you need to patch that up. I'll tell you that masking tape works wonders, depending on the surface, of course, and depending on where it's coming from. Now, if it's coming in through the air conditioner, the best thing, if you are able to, is to turn it off for a few minutes. Because what's happening is, whatever it is outside that may be coming in through the AC, like in the car, that's why, you can turn the AC off in the car, it's still going to be in there. That's why you got to roll the windows down. So if you're in an environment where it's coming in through the AC, you can shut the AC off and then open up the window or the door, or whatever, and fan it out of there. Because if it's lingering, your ANS is going to be like, and not want to breathe, which is what the devil wants you to not do. He don't want you to get that oxygen. He wants you to not breathe like that. He wants you, right. He listen, of course, the irony is they will let you circulate just enough to be a prisoner of the matrix. So I wanted to get on here and give y'all some of those tips, and additional thing today is a short one, but I wanted to get up here and give y'all that, and just stay vigilant. Don't fall for the future faking and anything out here. I mean anything that tries to instill any sense of false hope. You can catch it. You catch it. Pay attention. Don't allow it to, and don't allow it to play with your head. Right? Don't let them play with your head like that. But you keep on keeping on, chosen one, and we're going to come back with some more of God's spiritual truth and all of that, not just for trauma healing and spiritual growth while combating radio frequency for healthier living, but education and more heightened awareness. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.